My best friends live in the woods. The Adventures of Albert by Anne Michelle Moracek. Chapter 6. The Rainbow. This morning when Albert woke up, the room seemed much darker than it should be. I wonder if it's really morning, he thought as he slipped his toes onto the floor. He yawned and rubbed his eyes, but it did not get any brighter. Where was everyone? He shared a cozy moss bed with 23 skunk siblings. He was never alone. And how was it possible to be waking up alone on the great moss bed? Am I dreaming and still asleep? He pondered. But the floor felt cold on his paws, and his tummy was definitely hungry, not like a dream. But like he was really awake. Strange. As he entered the kitchen, Mother Skunk had a cheery little fire going on the hearth and a pot of broth warm and inviting. "You certainly slept late today, Albert," Mother Skunk said cheerfully. "Everyone else had a cup of warm broth and a slice of brown bread and honey. Would you like that?" "Oh, yes, please." Albert was happy to see everyone. He often had thought how nice it would be to have the great moss bed all to himself. But now he realized he much preferred the comfort and warmth of his family to snuggle with. Snuggles were so much better than solitude. "Why is it so dark?" he asked Mother Skunk. "Haven't you looked outside? It's raining today. Not a hard rain, just a steady, drippy rain that soaks the moss and drips in great glistening drops from the flower petals. A lovely rain," she said with a sigh. Albert was not so sure it was a lovely rain. Rain meant he was stuck inside all day, while he would prefer to run out and pounce in puddles and get all muddy and slide down the hill with a wahoo! But Mother Skunk would have no such thing. "You will catch a cold and then I will have 24 runny noses to wipe," she would say. Albert was most certainly stuck inside. But as he began to mope, Mother Skunk placed a fine, thick slice of brown bread in front of him with honey all the way to the edges and a cup of warm broth that smelled of basil leaves. It was so lovely he forgot to be mopey and savored his breakfast. Sometimes he thought back to that horrible night his raccoon mother had saved him from the flood, and he wondered if she was having toast and broth somewhere in another woods. He would probably never know, but he would pretend she was. He looked at Mother Skunk intently. "What are you thinking about, Albert?" she asked. "How lucky I am to be here with you, Mother." Mother Skunk smiled a big, happy smile. "I'm lucky to have you too, my sweetheart," she cooed. When Albert was finished with his late breakfast, Mother Skunk called all her children to gather around her. "Today is an indoor day. I expect it to rain all day and into the night. These drippy days often do. So I have planned a hopscotch contest. Whoever wins can have a gingerbread cookie." Instantly they all wiggled and giggled, and there were many hoorays and oh goodies. "But if the sun does peek out from behind the clouds, we will all run out and try to see a rainbow. But we must be fast, for rainbows sometimes only last a blink of a minute. It is the sky arching its love over the world, and we wouldn't want to miss it." Then she took her walking stick and began to draw a pattern of squares on the cave floor. There were several squares stacked up in 1 or 2 boxes, and she proceeded to teach them how to play hopscotch. Everyone laughed and squealed, and the game went on a good long time. His oldest sister, Bluebell, had won. She was used to helping her mother take care of the little ones and was somewhat of a second mother to them all. She broke her cookie up into crumbles and gave them each a nibble. Just then a call came from the kitchen. Lunch! They all scampered in and sat around the lovely logs Mother used as tables. While they were playing, she had been busy making a lovely big bowl of raspberries and mint leaves. And as she didn't have enough cups for 24 children, they shared a nice mug of cool spring water, passing it back and forth. Mother would refill it from her favorite pitcher from the water bucket she filled at the stream. After lunch, she got out paper and colored wax sticks and set them all down to color. "A good rainy day activity," she said. Albert couldn't get the image of the rainbow out of his mind. He'd been peeking out all day, hoping to see sun with the promise of a rainbow, and all day had sighed with disappointment at the drizzle. So it only seemed natural that he began to draw a picture of their cave entrance with the woods and the trees, and above it all, a lovely rainbow. Maybe if I draw a rainbow and think on it hard enough and wish for it strong enough, the sky will hear me and remember how to make a rainbow, he thought as he colored. No sooner had he set his purple wax stick down than Mother Skunk shouted, "Look!" She pointed out the door. "Sunshine! Everyone outside!" They all scampered out the door in delighted anticipation. They climbed to the top of their little hill and looked up. "Wait for it," Mother said. Then, as if by magic, a faint bow of color started to arch across the sky. It grew brighter and brighter until it seemed to glow. The magic of it made them all cheer and clap. All that is, except Albert. He was transfixed. He stared wide-eyed with wonder and asked the sky, "Did you do that for me? Did my drawing remind you how to make a rainbow?" Just then, the rainbow seemed to burst even brighter, and then it disappeared in a mist. Albert knew the sky had heard him, and in his heart, he sent his love to his raccoon mother and sister. They were probably seeing the same lovely bow and sending their love to him in return. Rainbow magic is a wonderful thing. Don't you think so, Albert? Said Bluebell, patting his head. Albert nodded. A wondrous thing indeed.